Sometimes everything isn't always how it seems. Growing up in somewhere as destitute as Rotherham doesn't always have to be a bad thing. My journey has been a fun but an adventurous one, and I'm excited to share that story with you. And this is as far as I've come. This is Jasmine. I've known Jasmine for around 6 years and she's been a very important part of my life. She's been there through the thick and thin, and I'm proud to call her one of my best friends. Here's what she thinks about me.
I met you in the 2010 season. Was it? Oh god,
Yeah.
that's 6 years.
Nearly 6 years.
Oh my god. I've known you like most of my life. What is this?
And you mentioned seasons, obviously, how we met.
Oh yeah, ice hockey, obviously.
Like, when you first met me, what were your first impressions of me? And like, have they changed since then?
They've changed.
Okay. Okay.
When I first met you, I definitely thought you were a bit of a dick because the people you were hanging around with, no offence.
Yeah.
I don't know, you were just... It wasn't even you that was loud and obnoxious, it was just the people you were with, so I got a bit scared. I think it was a playoff weekend when I actually had a conversation with you away from your friends. I was like, actually, he's not like his friend, it's fine, he's nice.
So, your general opinion of me, like right now, what are my most likeable and dislikable qualities from you?
Likeable is probably the fact that if I need help with something, you will immediately be there. Like, you won't question why I need you around here. You'll be like, Jazz needs help. I will immediately, turn up at the door. Yeah, you don't like, I can't think of the word. You put yourself, I don't know, after everyone else kind of thing. Which is also, like, one of the weaknesses of you. Of like, Ryan, have you done this? No, I need to help someone else. Ryan, look after yourself for a change.
Yeah.
Like...
So like, you mentioned playoff weekend. That's obviously a fond memory. So what's your most favourite memory you've shared with me?
It's probably not hockey related. It'd have to be the Hope Walk last year.
Yeah.
That was just such a good day. Just probably because it's in my favourite place, the Beach District, with you and the rest of the squad.
Like,
so
what was the thing behind that? As a group of people, what would you like? How would you describe that whole coming together?
I guess it's because we've all had, not similar issues, but we've all had different aspects of mental illness, mental health problems. So we all thought, you know what, we'll give back to a charity that has helped various members of our little group in the past. And we actually did really well. Like, I can't really remember the exact money we raised, but we...
1,121.
Yeah. We definitely did better than I think any of us ever expected from that. Probably have to be like the drama that's happened recently in the hockey, because...
Yeah? The breakup and stuff.
Yeah, it's not been good for you, and I don't like seeing you stressed and stuff, so...
Yeah.
That's been quite tough. Even though it's not like a memory between us, I'd say it's probably the worst thing that's happened.
Well, yeah, because obviously you dealt with a lot of that with me.
Yeah. So it's not like a bad thing.
So in the future, like, do you still see me being a part of your life? And if you do, why? And if not, why?
Not gonna lie, I will be hella mad at you if you stop being my friend. Like, it's been 6 years, we've not had trouble. If you suddenly stop talking to me, I will find you and be like, Ryan, let's be friends again.
When I disappear to Canada.
That you're taking me with you.
If you had to sum me up in like 3 words, what would they be? Only 3 words.
Three words.
No double barrel words, none of that. Just 3 words.
I'm gonna say just can't human.
Just can't. And this beautiful woman is my mother, Sarah. She's been the major cornerstone of my life, and everything I do is to make her proud. And this is her memory of me. What were I like when I was a kid? What kind of kid were I like, if you can remember?
When you was a baby?
When I was a baby, when I was a toddler, when I was a teenager, whatever.
When you was a baby, you didn't know to cry a lot.
I was a good kid.
You used to have your bottle and then go to sleep.
Yeah.
When you was a toddler, you was a pain in the ass because you used to get into everything.
What do you mean?
Well, they used to come out of the kitchen and you used to be with the pans. one stopped at your Auntie Mandy's with you because it's an open plan. The kitchen went into the living room.
Yeah.
And I went to sit down. You were in the kitchen playing on the floor.
Yeah.
And the next thing, I hid all the pans you in the cupboard.
So we'll talk about your stroke, I guess. What were that like, really? I'm going to assume you can't remember much, but what can you remember?
I remember going to work with a massive headache, and people thinking I was drunk, and I weren't. And then that's it. And
then you woke up in hospital. So like when you got home, what were it like coming home and stuff? Like were it hard? Were it,
No, because I got out of the car and came in.
No, I don't mean literally, but like coming back home and staying home and stuff. Obviously it was different to before. What were it like?
It was okay, because you look after me.
Yeah. So would you say you're proud of what I've achieved so far? Like stuff I've done? Like
yes, very, very proud.
And what would you say is your proudest moment? Like, what have I done that's made you the proudest?
When they do that film.
Which one?
When I went to that film at Sheffield.
Oh, when you came?
Yeah.
Oh, screenings. Right. Oh, I remember, yeah. Like, why was that moment so great?
Because you do the video.
I did, yeah. I've done lots of videos. Why that time?
And it's also nice because you see you with all your friends. You got a lot of friends.
Me dad.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I know this will come in.
Yeah. I don't really know where to go with it. So, what were me dad like, in your words? Don't swear.
A woman beater.
Right. But like, not just that though, like what were he like around the house and stuff? Like when we were kids, old photos, they look very happy, but what were they like really?
A lot of shouting.
Yeah.
A lot of violence.
Yeah. What were it like for us as kids? Obviously for you it were awful, but like...
They couldn't... I used to try my best to be able to afford things for you, but he used to take the money.
Right.
So it was hard for me to try and get things for you. Like, if you come home from school and say, I got to have so much money for this thing, I used to have to phone your nonna, because I didn't have the money, because your dad used to have all the money.
Yeah. From when we were kids and stuff with my dad now, what do you think we're like with him now? Obviously me and Melissa are different.
Well, I never used to say the negative, because I used to find that you both will find out in your own way, because you have your own mind.
Yeah. And
you've both found out that it's wanker anyway.
Yeah.
So,
what would you...
Sarah Hall has been my tutor for the past 5 years at Rotherham College, and I couldn't even begin to explain the amount of opportunities that she's given me. My media journey started here at Rotherham College with Sarah, and it's slowly coming to an end, but here's their recollection of it. So what have I been like as a student here at RCAT?
Do you know, you have always been a really bubbly student, and a really honest student. Really, really pleasant and very supportive of the department as well. Obviously we do ask students to go above and beyond the call of duty, I suppose, but you always do, and that's a real pleasure that you're willing to celebrate the success of what we're trying to achieve.
Definitely.
So yeah.
In your words, how would you describe my journey from like first year up until now?
I think it's been a bit of an epic journey, really, and I think it's been one of self-discovery for you, finding out who you're about and what your skills are, and sort of finding out in terms of media what it is that you're interested in. You've become more and more technically adept as the years have gone on, and that's a natural thing.
So then, you mentioned like my technical ability and stuff. So have you got like a most memorable piece of work I've done, maybe?
Yeah, I remember you making your advert for the dinosaur hoodie.
Yeah.
And that was ace, because at first I wasn't quite sure how that first piece of work was going to come out. And then actually, you know, that's when I really realised how switched on you were, because you were investigating new effects work and you were really interested in your editing. It was just a lovely piece of work, you know.
I feel like I set the bar very high for myself.
You did, but that's really good. You know, that's pretty impressive. And also, you know, I don't think I'll forget this piece of work you're doing now for a long time. Obviously, I don't know what the final thing is going to look like, but I've never seen somebody approach a piece of work in such a personal manner.
If there could be one thing you'd change about me in education, what would it be?
I think you might know the answer to that.
I certainly do.
I think the one thing with you has always just been that the practical work has always been really fab and you've really put your heart and soul into it, but then the paperwork has never quite met that same level. But the frustrating thing for me is I always know you've been absolutely capable of it, always, but just not quite done it. And I'm hoping you do that on this project.
Definitely trying. I'm trying.
I think your plan to become a teacher is really good because you're great at communicating and sharing ideas, and also what I've noticed when you've been working with other people, peers, or even people on other levels, is you're not someone who's a belittling person. If someone doesn't understand something, you just go, oh yeah, okay, all right, then let's have a look at it. And so I think the qualities you'll bring to that are that you're a good communicator and you appreciate everybody is at a different level. Yeah.
Do you remember when I got a verbal warning for bullying? that like I've mentioned it with Beth's interview as well. Like I still look back at that, and I even talk to Rosie every now and again, and we both just sit and laugh at it. It's great. Like I remember I think it was an Instagram post that we did. I do remember that. And
it was one of the low points.
Definitely.
One of the low points.
So have you got a certain memory that sticks out for me as a person, and like our kind of relationship, tutors or otherwise?
Yeah, I've definitely got a memory that sort of sticks out. Well, two actually. I've got two memories that stick out in my mind. One memory that sticks out in my mind is when your mum had a stroke, and you didn't actually tell me about it initially.
No, yeah, I remember.
You kind of kept it to yourself, because sometimes you're a private person.
I do that a lot. I try and keep everything bottled in.
And I just remember you telling me and you were explaining to me how that felt and what you're having to do to try and overcome that as a family, you know, working together. And I just felt really proud of you. You know, I thought that you were so mature about it and so honest and just explaining what you were doing. It was all very matter of fact, like, I'm going to do these things. And yeah, it must have been scary, but you weren't walking away from it. You were doing absolutely everything you could to help. And the other memory is when you told me about this project that you were doing, and I said to you, are you ready for this? Are you ready? Because you're going to have to dig deep.
Yep.
It's going to be an emotional video, and you kind of were like, yeah, I know. And then I think it was like the week after you came to talk to me, and then you said to me, I've been to see the GP, which I thought was really sensible. You know, that's really good, and I'm being diagnosed with depression, but you know, I'm getting it sorted and stuff, and that really struck me, because I thought all those things that I think I'd always taken for granted that you were dealing with, that I knew of, actually were bothering you more than you were really letting anybody know. So there's obviously lots of complex layers to Ryan.
Yeah, definitely. So I guess if you could sum me up in 3 words, what would they be?
If I could sum you up in 3 words, okay. Confident, caring, enthusiastic.
Yeah, I'll take that. And this is me. This is who I am. These are my memories and my stories, and this is as far as I've come.
Could you describe your journey in 1 word?
Hard. Yeah, definitely hard. Depending on which part of my journey we talk about, but I'd go with hard, definitely.
Your relationship with your dad, describe that to me.
There ain't one, really. He's my dad, but he's not my father. He left when me and my sister were younger because, quite honestly, Mum grew some balls. She got rid of him. because he used to beat her up, he used to drink too much, and nobody deserves that. You couldn't. There was this one time where he was at the top of the stairs and he was strangling my mum, and me and my sister were just sat on bed playing, as if it were normal, and that's not normal, and children shouldn't think that it's that normal. And when I think back to that now, I think how disgusting that actually is. The fact that we thought that was a normal occurrence and people did that all the time. But the relationship with him, it doesn't exist, and I'm keeping it that way because, quite honestly, he's an horrible person and I don't want anything to do with him, and that's a shame because at the end of the day he's my dad, but he's not my father. He didn't do anything to deserve that title.
Life with your mum, pre and post stroke. Tell me about it.
Pre-stroke, lovely. Mum were great. She always has been. She did everything for us. She gave us everything, even when we didn't have it. We weren't a privileged family whatsoever. We come from a council estate in Rotherham, and there are times where it was hard and we struggled as a family. But she'd go without to keep us alive, and not alive because that's an exaggeration, but keep us going. Post stroke, that was the really hard time because for me, I'd just lost my nan the year prior, and I felt like I was losing. Obviously, it's a stroke, and some people do die, and some people don't. People get over it sometimes, but I felt like I might lose her, and that terrified me. She still does everything for her kids. She still does everything for people. She's still happy. She's still jolly, and she's enjoying life, and that's what matters, I think.
How were you when your nana passed away?
It killed me, really. Lack of a better word, which is really bad because she passed away. She shouldn't use killed, but it killed me. Inside, I genuinely felt like a part of me had died. She was everything. She was like my second parent. I remember the day my mum had to tell me on the phone because I was travelling to Lizzie's at the time, the current girlfriend, and I was on the bus and she had to tell me on the phone, and I just sat there, and after I'd finished on the phone I accepted it. I just sat on the bus silently and I didn't really accept it, and I kind of just didn't accept it for the rest of that day. It was just a normal day with Liz. We chilled out, watched TV, had some food, so we just chilled out in a normal day. And then the night time was when it hit me. We got in bed and everything was quiet and the world stopped around me, and then it hit me and I just cried and cried and cried, and I can't even explain it. I can't explain how that feeling is to lose someone so important. The day we buried her was the hardest day of my life. The absolute hardest. I got asked to carry her and I couldn't do it. I was straight away, I was like, I can't carry her in, there's no way. So it was fine because there's enough of us in our family, there's tons of lads in our family, so all the sons and a couple of grandsons carried her. I didn't, I carried the photo, and I felt as much as I couldn't carry her, I had to do something, She was my nan, I had to do something for her. So I carried the photos and stuff, and that was the hardest day of my life, is actually saying goodbye. Because, I don't know, I don't think I've ever dealt with it. And, I don't know, each day is a struggle. I kind of just forget it happened. And, I don't know, days where I'm in bad moods, I want to go and see her and I can't. But yeah, you never get over it, ever.
Your mental health, discuss.
So my mental health has been mentioned a few times in this documentary already, I assume. I suffer from mild depression, and it's been an interesting journey, to say the least. It's only been a few months since I've been diagnosed, as right now I was filming, and things have gotten, I'm not going to say easier because they haven't got easier, but I'm learning to deal with it. When I first noticed it, I was in bad moods for no reason. I was crying for no reason, and it was it was hard, but when I spoke to the doctor, he recommended counselling, and I was going to take him up on that, but I kind of chickened out. I just didn't go, and I should have done, but I just didn't go because I didn't feel like it would help me. Like, each day is different, you know. Like, each day I could get up and I could be in a good mood, but then the next day I might not even want to get up. I'll wake up and I'll just lay in bed and like, no, today's a complete write-off. And you know, it's hard, and I can't explain it. I don't understand how I feel because it's hard to explain. Like, I'm supposed to be like this bubbly character. Everyone knows me, this bubbly, happy guy, and it was really weird when I got told I was mildly depressed because that's not me. You know, that's not who I am. But apparently it is, and that's just something I've had to deal with.
You mentioned a previous relationship. Do you want to go into any further detail to do with what happened with that?
Yeah, I guess, because obviously it was a big part of my life. I was engaged to a young lady, Liz, and I can't speak highly enough of her for that. You know, she was there for me. She did everything that I needed her to, and she, you know, she's a great person. And we broke up just because I weren't feeling it anymore, I guess. Like, we'd meet up and we'd still argue and stuff, and I know that's normal for a relationship for people to argue, but when you don't see each other often enough and then you meet up, it's supposed to be great, and we just kind of argued a lot, and it just didn't feel the same anymore. So I tried to be mature about it, and I broke it up, obviously. Like, her entire family, I owe them a lot. They did everything for me, not just in regards to like my nan passing and my mum stroke and stuff, but just in general. Like, they did a lot for me. And they're a great family. They're a great set of people. You know, I was 21 and I was engaged. You know, the future was I was going to get married to Liz and we were going to spend our lives together. But I think that's the thing. I was too young, and I needed to be me.
So, any plans for the future?
Yeah, definitely. I've just been accepted onto my PGCE course. So come this September, I'll be training to be a teacher. And I'm very, very excited. It's been something I've not always wanted to do, you know. Sometimes things don't work out the way you plan, and I always thought I was going to work for myself, but, you know, teaching is something I'm definitely interested in. It's definitely something I want to go on to do, and I've got things planned like for other like personal production stuff, so, you know, things are moving forward and things are looking up.
Any final words?
Yeah, I guess don't give up. I guess if anyone ever comes across this documentary and they decide that they're going to take a message from this, is that don't give up. Things do get hard, and that's life. Like, life's too short, so make the most of it. So, like, I'm just a guy from Rotherham, you know, I'm from a council estate in Rotherham doing nothing, and we're expected to do nothing because we're from Rotherham and we don't have high aspirations, but I'm going on to be a teacher. I'm going to follow my dream. I'm going to live my life and do what I want to do. And I think that's important for everyone to remember, is to be yourself and do what you want to do and be happy for you.